Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone. Last week we talked about the importance of Paticcasamuppada, dependent originations. Venerable Ananda said that it seemed to be very easy for him. The Buddha said not to say so. So the Buddha said that is very profound. So appear profound. Visuddhimagga mentioned. Can you volume up a little bit? Maybe here. Very soft. Yeah, maybe. So yeah. Okay. Thank you. So it's very important. So the Buddha said that it's very profound. So Visuddhimagga mentioned. Visuddhimagga explain dependent originations in details. And then for those who want to know a detailed explanation about dependent originations, you can read Visuddhimagga. So I think after we learn dependent origination, I think it's for you easy to read Visuddhimagga. Venerable Buddha Kosa said that writing dependent origination is very difficult for him. So he gave a simile. Just like if you put a person in the ocean, so there's no footing. So that person will drown into the ocean. So just like that, so dependent origination is not easy to explain, not easy to write. But anyway, he said that he will write based on his knowledge of the Tipitaka and also the note, traditional note handed down by teacher to teacher from students. So using those materials, he write Visuddhimagga, dependent originations. So quoting, using a lot of suttas. So today we will learn dependent originations. This is a short formula that we can find in many suttas. So especially in Patama Bodhisattva from Uddana Pali. So we can find those short descriptions of dependent originations in many places. When this is present, that is present. Seems to be very easy. So this is a short formula of dependent originations. When there is A, there is B. So this is a dependent originations. Depending on A, B arises. From the arising of this, that arises. Depending on A, B arises. If there is no A, there will be no B, like this. So this is a short formula. When this is absent, that is absent. If there is no A, there will be no B. So this is a cessation formula. On the cessation of this, that cease. So when there is no A, B cease. So this is a very short formula. I think we have learned in previous week, but I just want to right mind node. For those who want to become a teacher, maybe you can get those short formula. Especially in the YMBA exam, we can find those short formula many times. Especially for the YMBA students, I think this is a very good for the exam. So anyway, this is a short formula. We have a two formula, rising formula. Depending on this, that arise, and we have a cessation formula. So if there's no A, there will be no B. So there is a cessation formula. So actually, a rising formula talk about the original suffering, second noble truth. Cessation formula talk about third noble truth, cessation of suffering. So this is we have a two type of formula. To make it very simple, so I will show you a very simple example of dependent originations. Depending on eyes and forms, unconsciousness arises. So this is one, what is the dependent originations? So the meeting of the three is called contact, phassa. With the contact as condition, there is feeling. With the feeling as condition, there is craving. So actually, we have learned in the Bhavacakka Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 148. So I want you to read this Sutta. It's very important Sutta to understand the nature of dependent originations. Especially for those who are meditating, this is a very important Sutta, very profound Suttas. So for that reason, meditation masters, they always quote this Sutta. Bhavacakka Sutta, 6 set of 6. This is a simple example of dependent originations. Especially when we learn dependent originations, so we learn with the 12-fold formula. 12-fold formula. We have 12 factors. So this is the most complete factors that we learn regarding with the dependent originations. But of course, there are more than that. There are at the end of this topic, we will learn many factors, dependent origination with the many factors. So normally we learn with the 12-fold formula, dependent originations. So that is known as bhavacakka. Visuddhimagga, especially Visuddhimagga give the name bhavacakka, the circle of existence. So we have a lot of existence. So we are going around Saṅkhāra. Saṅkhāra means many type of existence, numerous existence. We are going around Saṅkhāra. In the 12-fold formula, the Buddha used two methods. One method is called direct order or arising formula. Because of this, that happened. Because of that, this happened, like this. Another one is reverse order or cessation formula. So if there is no A, there will be no B. If there is no B, there will be no C, like this. So this is called cessation formula. As I earlier said that, arising formula is second noble truth. Cessation formula is third noble truth. Threefold formula is called the wheel of life or circle of life. Bhavacakka. Starting ignorance, avijjā. Depending on avijjā, volitional formation arises. Because of volitional formations, rebirth consciousness. Depending on rebirth consciousness, mind and body. Depending on mind and body, 6 sense bases arises. Depending on 6 sense bases, contact. Depending on contact, feeling arises. Depending on feeling, craving arises. Depending on craving, clinging arises. Depending on clinging, existence arises. Depending on existence, birth. Depending on birth, aging and death. Depending on aging and death, we have a lot of sufferings, lamentations, depression, anger, etc. These are the sufferings. So I think you can read the first Sutta of Nidana Samyutta, chapter 12, Samyutta Nikaya, chapter 12, Sutta number 1. If you read chapter 12, Sutta number 1, you will see these 12 factors, 12 formula. So there are 12, and you can count this one. So this is a standard formula. So actually, as we have learned in Cakkapala Sutta mentions only 6. Some Sutta mention about 10, some mention about 7, like this. So there are many type of dependent originations. But if you understand 12 formula, you will understand. But in different places, that you will find different connotation and different definition. So anyway, we will study dependent originations based on traditional understanding. Then later we will go to the suttas and we will extend our knowledge. So especially we will based on Visuddhimagga, traditional understanding, then you can analyze. So there are some scholars, they want to reject traditional understanding or dependent originations. So I think after you learn traditional understanding, you can read the suttas and you can decide. But you need a lot of cross references. If you just read 1 or 2 suttas, you will not understand the nature of dependent originations. So normally dependent originations start with ignorance, right? Ignorance. But second sutta explain from aging and death. So aging and death come first. That means I think we must understand. So the nature of dependent origination is you can start anywhere, from anywhere. Sometimes the Buddha start from aging and death. Sometimes the Buddha start from existence. Sometimes start from clinging. Any place you can start, because it is dependent on arising. Dependent arising. For that reason, there's no beginning. There's no beginning, but we can end if you eradicate craving and ignorance. So, but here normally we start from ignorance. So in many suttas, I think later I will point out. So in the second sutta, Vibhanga Sutta or Nidana Samyutta, chapter 12, sutta number 2, and the Buddha start from aging and death, from rebirth aura. So the Buddha explained what is aging and death, and what is birth. So I think by reading second sutta or Nidana Samyutta, we will understand. So I think just reading one sutta is not enough. So just just looking at one sutta, you cannot criticize which one is wrong, which one is right, etc. So even regarding with the consciousness, we have a different interpretation, even in the suttas. So we have to understand. So different places, different interpretation. The reason is so depending on conditions and depending on individuals. So the Buddha emphasized, sometimes the Buddha emphasized ignorance. Sometimes the Buddha may emphasize feeling. So in Samyutta Nikaya, we have feeling, Vedana Samyutta. So in that Samyutta, the Buddha starts from feeling like this. So we have to understand in that way. So anyway, so we can start anywhere, The Buddha also himself, sometimes he starts from aging and death. In Ariya Priyasna Sutta, so the Buddha went to escape from aging and death. Because we have subject to aging and death. So the Buddha find out the cause. Why? Because of path. Like this. So in that sutta, in Ariya Priyasna Sutta, so the Buddha start from aging and death. Like this. So this is a 12-fold formula, a complete form of dependent originations. So anyway, when we conclude this topic, and then I will show much more comprehensive dependent originations. Even more than 12-fold formula. And then I can't count. I didn't count that one. Maybe more than maybe about 20 or 25 like this. Okay, so 3 periods for time. Before we study dependent originations, so we must understand this basic understanding. 3 periods. So we will past life, present life, and future life. 3 lifetimes. Traditionally, Venerable Buddha Kosa and commentators, they explain dependent origination using this formula. But this formula is not totally, if you just stick to that formula, it's also not correct. In some places, we can find dependent originations, just focus on present moment. Just like a Chachaka Sutta. Depend on I, form, I consciousness arises. So this is just right now, just in this life. So in that place, consciousness, Vijnana, is not a real consciousness. So, but of course, there are many suttas that mention consciousness as a real consciousness. So anyway, so this is a traditional interpretation, starting from Patisambhita Magga. Patisambhita Magga, we can find this form of systematic explanations. So Visuddhimagga trying to follow, especially Abhidhamma follow that method. Even we can call it Abhidhamma method. Three period of time: ignorance, avijjā, and volitional formation. So this is the past causes. Normally just remember these have been in the past life. Because of ignorance, we perform volitional formations. Because of these 2 causes, we have a real consciousness in this life. Because of real consciousness, we have a mind and body. But here we have a bhikkhu body translated as a name and form. And Majjhima Nikaya, Venerable Ñāṇamoli translate as a materiality, mentality and materiality. So actually this refers to material and mental phenomena. Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa. So because of two past causes, ignorance and volitional formation, we have a rebirth consciousness in this life. Because of rebirth consciousness, mind and body. Because of mind and body, we have 6 sin species. Because of 6 sin species, contact. Because of contact, feeling or sensation. So these are called present effects. Because of past 2 causes, we have present 5 effects. Reset. Then based on these, because of feeling, craving arises. Because of craving, clinging arises. Because of clinging, karma existence. But here is karma existence, not the RAM existence. It's not a RAM, it's karma existence. So these 3 are called present causes. We have a feeling, based on feeling, we have a craving, clinging, and karma formations. Karma existence. Because of these 2 causes in this life, then we have a rebirth in the next life, in the future life. And we will have aging and death. So this is a future effects. Future effects. So this is called 3 period for time. Then we have 2 causes in the past life. We have 5 effects in this life. And we have 3 causes in this life. Because of three causes, we will have a birth, aging, and death again. But I think for the time being, you may not understand very, very clearly. So at the end of the topic, we will use according to Visuddhimagga traditional method. Got it? We have 2 causes in previous life, ignorance and volitional formations. Because of these 2 causes, we have a rebirth consciousness, mind and body, 6 sin species, contact, feeling. So these are present effect. Because of past causes, we have a present effect. Then we will have 3 causes in this life: craving, clinging, karma existence. So because of these 3 causes, we will have a future rebirth next life. Rebirth or birth, aging and death. So this is a future effects. Future effects. 3 period for time. I think it's not difficult, right? Question? Any question? Okay, no question. Let's study. So actually, Visuddhimagga and commentaries, they use the word bhavacakka. Actually, we cannot apply this name in any or all the dependent originations. So as I earlier said that dependent origination just means because of this, that happened, right? So actually, for those who became Sotapanna, we have one Pali in Pali Canon, Yankenchi, Samudaya Dhamman, Sabanda Nidora Dhamman. So if there is the nature of arising, it also have the nature of cessation. So Nama Rupa, so they are the nature of arising, and they also have the nature of cessation. So that is dependent originations. So that is dependent originations. Only 2 factors, right? Arising and cessation. But in Four Noble Truths, because of the original suffering, because of craving, suffering arises. That's also dependent originations. If you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, you will end suffering. That's also dependent originations. So we have many type of dependent originations. Sometimes some suttas can apply this name that meet the will of life. Sometimes cannot apply. Just like a Chachaka Sutta, right? Bhavacakka. Dependent origination is not a philosophical theory of the evolution of the world. People think that this is it talk about the evolution of the world. It's not so. It makes no attempt to take off absolute original life. So actually the Buddha did not explain the absolute, the actual, the original life. The Buddha clearly said that there is no origin, there is no beginning, beginningless. The doctrine of Paticcasamuppada can be illustrated by a Saṅkhāra. So it is circular life or bhavacakka. In a Saṅkhāra, any given point may be taken as a starting point. You can start from anywhere. The Buddha also sometimes start ignorance, sometimes start from feeling, sometimes from clinging, like this. So we can start from anywhere. Ignorance should not be regarded as the first cause or ultimate origin of everything. Some people think that ignorance is the first cause. So everything started from ignorance. You shouldn't think in such a way. The reason is the Buddha talk about the origin of ignorance. Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 9, Samadhi Sutta. So the Buddha said that, not the Buddha, Venerable Sariputta said that avijjā arises depending on taints, asava. But here, the origin of ignorance is taints or asava. So we have 3 types of asavas. Another sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said that avijjā arises depending on 5 hindrances. So we have 5 hindrances. Sometimes because of sensory desire, ignorance arises. Sometimes because of ill, ignorance arises. So actually the Buddha talk about the original 5 hindrances. So I think if we study here, so there are many causes of avijjā or ignorance. So in this way, everything has their own causes. Avijjā or ignorance is not the first cause. The Buddha said that in Anamataka Sanyutta, bhikkhus did Saṅkhāra, but here Saṅkhāra means circular life, many life, countless life. This Saṅkhāra is without discoverable beginning. You cannot find the beginning. You cannot discover the beginning of human race. Actually, of course, you can find the beginning of human race in this earth, but you can go back to many eons of life. The Buddha said that cannot call. A first point is not discern of beings roaming and wandering, or hindered by ignorance and fettered by craving. That's here, hindered by ignorance, avijjā, fettered by craving. Many of you know that some religion teaches that our planet started 6,000 years ago. And human beings were created by the God. Their beginning is so early. But scientists said that no. So we have millions and billions of the beginning of human race, according to scientists, actually million, right? Maybe 2 million, 3 million. So the lifespan of this earth is 4.5 billion years old. But anyway, the Buddha said that no beginning. So actually our planet, the earth planet were destroyed, then it will form again, and we will reborn again. As long as we do not eradicate ignorance and craving. So it's a beginningless Saṅkhāra. So the Buddha gave a simile, many simile in Anamataka Samyutta. So there is one yojana square kilometer. Not square, not kilometer. One yojana square. Actually, according to some scholars, 8 miles. In one yojana, 8 miles. So maybe 8 miles square place. So someone will put, the mustard seed. You know, the mustard seed is very small, right? You can put 8 miles square, in the, the iron contain. So someone will come and take one mustard seed in 100 years. Only one mustard seed in 100 years. So then the time may, all the mustard seed will ran out, but the life for eon will not run out. So actually beginning, the Buddha gave a lot of similes in Anamataka Samyutta. So you can read in Samyutta Nikaya, chapter 15. I think about 50 or 20 sutta. So there's no discoverable beginning. First point is not descent of beings. So even the Buddha cannot trace back beginningless. So this is so I think by up to here, I think we can learn that avijjā is not the first cause. So avijjā also have the causes, like a five hindrances, and also the taints, etc. Question? Any question? Okay, here we go. What is avijjā? The first one. Now we are going to learn the first factor. What is avijjā? What bhikkhus is ignorance? In Vibhanga Sutta, second Sutta, actually I have already given to you. So in that Sutta, you can go and read page number 535. Page number 535. Second last paragraph. What bhikkhu is ignorance? Actually, that is what the Buddha taught. Not knowing suffering. If you do not know suffering, that is ignorance. Sometimes we do not know aging as is suffering, birth as is suffering, association with someone or something you don't like, you don't know exactly, and dissociation from someone you like this, and also especially fire aggregate. You do not know them as is suffering because ignorance. Actually, to know about suffering is not really easy. It's not really easy. We need to have a very deep concentration. When you have a deep concentration, you will understand. So our five aggregate, our mind, our body, everything is suffering. We have three types of suffering, right? Natural suffering, suffering in change, even the feeling is suffering, and suffering in conditionality. So if you do not know five aggregate or clinging as is suffering, that is ignorance. Number two, not knowing the original suffering. The original suffering is craving. Normally, if we have ignorance, so we seek after suffering because we do not know the original suffering. Not knowing the original suffering. Number three, not knowing the cessation of suffering. You do not know how to cease suffering. Number four, not knowing the way leading to cessation of suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path. This is called ignorance. Very simple, but of course, it needs a lot of practice to understand. So altogether, this is not knowing Four Noble Truths is suffering. Sorry, it's ignorance. It's ignorance. So this is when you read the Sutta, you will find the Buddha interpret in this way. Don't forget that Four Noble Truths encompass every teaching. Four Noble Truths is just like the elephant footprint. Then you can put any footprint or any elements into the elephant elements. Whatever you call it, whether you call it wholesome deed or unwholesome deed, jhana, samatha, vipassana, everything included in the Four Noble Truths. So, and then for that reason, if we say that not knowing Four Noble Truths is ignorance. So the Buddha appeared in this world because he, he declared, right, the Four Noble Truths. He have discovered the Four Noble Truths. That's very important. So if we know Four Noble Truths, you know the Dhamma. You know the Dhamma. For that reason, our meditation topic is based on Four Noble Truths. So if we cover Four Noble Truths, we cover everything. So even the dependent origination is a part of Four Noble Truths. Okay. Sometimes we use avijjā, ignorance. Sometimes we use delusion, moha. Bidhamma, we use moha. And in many Sutta also, the Buddha used moha. So when the Buddha want to talk about three kinds, lobha, dosa, moha, he used the word moha. So when the Buddha want to talk about a higher teaching, just like a dependent origination, the Four Noble Truths, he used the word avijjā. Avijjā comes from the root vidya, which means not knowing. Means negative. Vidya means knowing. Not knowing or not understanding Four Noble Truths. But here I use another term. Four Noble Truths means things in their true natures. So in one of the Sutta, in Samadhi Sutta, in the Satcha Samyutta, the Buddha said that develop concentrations. Trying to develop concentrations. So if your mind is concentrated, you will know things in their true natures. Jathabhutam Pajanati. in their true natures. You will understand the true nature of your mind, your body, and people, and everything. If you have a certain degree of concentrations. So the Buddha said that, develop concentrations. So we are meditating. The reason is we are developing concentrations. So if your mind is concentrated, you will know by yourself the nature of your mind, body, everything. So that is called things in their true natures. So in that sutta, the Buddha said that what is knowing and understanding things in their true nature? The Buddha said that Four Noble Truth. Four Noble Truths. If you understand Four Noble Truth, you will understand things in their true nature. Avijjā means not knowing or not understanding. Four Noble Truth. It is a synonym of moha, delusion. So actually, we can define what is moha, the same thing, Four Noble Truth. So the word moha derived from the root moha, like a monstrosity. So that means to bewilder or to confuse. So that means perplexity or confusion or delusion. So one of the writer in Richard Dawkins, and he write a book called God Delusion. Because of delusion, people have imaginary mind about God like this. Delusion, perplexity, they do not know. They do not know. So that means avijjā and ignorance, ignorance and delusion are the same. Okay? Type of error? Huh? Oh, sorry. Type of error. Sorry. Okay. Maybe I think you can SMS me. It's the best way. Okay. Thank you. It's very lucky. Some people point out some of the type of error. Don't feel hesitate to point out. I'm really welcome. In this way, can correct. Sometimes, not mindful enough. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes, writing, forgot. Okay, so here, ignorance and delusion are the same. Then, in many suttas, I quote one sutta, from, Mahaparinibbana Sutta. Mahaparinibbana Sutta. So the Buddha said that, bhikkhus, it is because of not understanding, that means avijjā, not penetrating the Four Noble Truth, that you and I have room and wander through this long course of samsara. Long course of samsara. So I think understanding Four Noble Truth is very important. If you understand, if you can apply in your daily life, you can cure your even mental diseases, knowing deeper level of your mind. That's very important. Of course, to know Four Noble Truth, you need a deeper level of concentrations, a certain level of concentrations. If you have concentrations, you will understand your mind. You are aware what is happening in your mind. Normally, if we don't have concentrations, we do not know what is happening. A lot of delusion in our mind, a lot of ignorance. But here the Buddha said that because we do not understand Four Noble Truths, for that reason we are going around samsara. So knowing Four Noble Truths is important. Moha is the root of all evils. Because of moha, we are doing unwholesome deeds. It is a direct opposite to wisdom. So wisdom is called panya, sometimes moha. So this is a direct opposite. So the root of all evil. So I think we have been learning this one. So in Magga Samyutta, the first sutta of Magga Samyutta is talk about the Noble Eightfold Path. So the first sutta is called avijjā sutta. Ignorance is a forerunner. The Buddha said that bhikkhus, ignorance, avijjā, is the forerunner in the entry upon unwholesome states, with the shamelessness and fearlessness of wrongdoing following along. So that because we have avijjā or ignorance, for that reason, we are doing unwholesome deed. That is the door or forerunner of entry to unwholesome states. So avijjā is very important. So the opposite of the avijjā is actually in Mahaparinibbana Sutta, Yuddhava Sampajana. Sampajana means, knowing comprehensively. Actually, the translation of Sampajana, knowing thoroughly. So now I'm teaching. If I know what I'm teaching thoroughly, that's called Sampajana. Sampajana is another name for wisdom. If you are learning the Dhamma, you actually have two factors. One is sati, mindfulness, together with the sampajana. Sampajana means you have mindfulness, then combined with the knowing thoroughly. Two factors, sati and panya. So here, ignorance is the opposite of mindfulness and panya. So if we do not have a panya and sati, so we will do a lot of unwholesome deed. That's the entry of the door, right? To do unwholesome deed. And together with shamelessness, you will not have any shame and any shine to do unwholesome deed. You will not have a fear. You will not have a fear to do unwholesome deed. Anuttappa, following along. For an unwise person immersed in ignorance, wrong view springeth. Here, based on ignorance, wrong view immersed, springeth. From the wrong view, wrong intention springeth. This is also another type of dependent origination, right? Depending on ignorance, then wrong views arises. Depending on wrong views, wrong intention arises. For the one of wrong intention, wrong speech arises. So from the one of wrong speech, wrong action, wrong livelihood, wrong effect, wrong mindfulness, and wrong concentration. Wrong concentrations. So actually this is the opposite of the Noble Eightfold Path. So that means if you have wisdom, or if you have mindfulness and knowing thoroughly, sampajana, so there will be no chance for unwholesome actions. So there will be right speech, right view, then right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, etc. Right? They will follow. So wisdom is very important about this thing. See, the opposite of avijjā is wisdom. So actually, the same sutta mentioned that if we have a knowing or wisdom, vijjā, so right view arises, spring up. So based on right view, our intention will be right. If our intention is right, our speech, our action, our livelihood, our effort, our mindfulness, our concentration will be right. So if we have a right concentrations, right knowledge will arise. So that is a dependent originations. So here I want to point out that ignorance is the root of all evil. We must know it. How to remove ignorance? Number one, develop mindfulness. Number two, develop panya, wisdom. Wisdom is knowing thoroughly, sampajana. So when you are talking, you have to be very mindful. Then you have to know what you're doing. When you are walking in your company, mindfulness, and knowing thoroughly. So that is the way to remove ignorance. As stated in Sammaditthi Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 9, moha or avijjā can be defined as follows. So actually, according to second Sutta in Nidana Samyutta, Vibhanga Sutta, so the Buddha mentioned that not knowing Four Noble Truth is avijjā. But here, if we look at according to Sammaditthi Sutta, actually Sammaditthi Sutta is taught by Venerable Sariputta. Venerable Sariputta taught to brother monks, talk about what are the right view. So actually when we learn the Noble Eightfold Path, so we will use this Sutta. But this Sutta talk about what are the right view. So based on that Sutta, so we can define a different type of ignorance. Number one, not knowing wholesome and unwholesome deeds is ignorance. If you think that killing is good, that is because of ignorance. If you think that telling lie is good, a little bit good, that is also ignorance. If you think that cheating in the business is justifiable, that's also wrong view. So that means, as you all know, we have learned in the sila, under sila, so we have 10 type of unwholesome actions, 10 type of unwholesome karma. If you think that these unwholesome karma as a wholesome, so we have a 10 type of wholesome karma. If you think that 10 type of wholesome karma is not good, that is because of ignorance. Based on ignorance, you have a wrong view. Based on wrong view, all your intention, all your thought will be wrong. If your thought and intention is wrong, your speech, action, livelihood will be wrong. Actually, ignorance is a forerunner. And wisdom is forerunner for the better. The ignorance is a forerunner for the worse. So I think we have to understand in this way. All the teachings are connected each other. So I think if you can see overview or top-down views, I think we can appreciate teaching of the Buddha. Not knowing wholesome and unwholesome deed. Number two, not knowing the root of wholesome and unwholesome deed. So the root of unwholesome deed is a lobha dosa moha. If you do not know lobha dosa moha as a unwholesome, the root of unwholesome, that's because of ignorance. Then alobha, adosa, amoha. So these are the root of wholesome deed, wholesome actions. So if you do not know alobha, adosa, amoha are the root of wholesome action, that's also because of ignorance. Next one is not knowing Four Noble Truth. That's actually we don't need to explain. Next one is not knowing dependent originations. If you do not understand dependent originations, how things arise depend on causes. So that means because of ignorance. Actually, things are arising depend on many causes in our daily life. If you are mindfulness, if you have sampajana, knowing thoroughly, without mindfulness you will not know thoroughly, without concentrations. So actually, if you have these two qualities, then you will know dependent origination in your mind, dependent origination in your life, dependent origination in the life of other people. Everything dependent arises. Right? So we can learn that is not knowing dependent originations. So actually, just based on Samadhi Sutta, actually everything can be included in the Four Noble Truths. Dependent origination in the Four Noble Truths. Whole Sandhi in the Four Noble Truths. The root in the Four Noble Truths. So if you understand Four Noble Truths, you can forget about all, right? Okay. That is according to Suttas. According to Abhidhamma, ignorance is non-knowledge of 8 things. Non-knowledge of 8 things. Not only 4, now 8. Number 1, the Four Noble Truths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four Noble Truths. Number 5, the prenatal past. You do not know your past life. It's because of ignorance. For those who do not know our past life, it will lead to misunderstanding that there's no past life. Next one is the post-natal future. If you do not understand the post-natal future, so that means you have a wrong view. There's only one lifetime, right? Then number 7, the past and future together. So that means you do not know the past as well as the future life. So it will lead to wrong view. And the last one is dependent originations. So usually all these can be included in the Four Noble Truths. But here I just want to point out Abhidhamma mentioned in this way. But if we conclude, there's everything within the Four Noble Truths. Okay, this is according to Abhidhamma. Okay, this is a avijjā or ignorance. So here, ignorance means not knowing the Four Noble Truths. So the Buddha have talking about suffering, different type of suffering in the first sermon. If we know thoroughly, it is wisdom. It is wisdom. And if we know the cause of suffering, the wisdom is much more higher. If we can practice the Noble Eightfold Path, it will lead to cessation of suffering. So that means knowing the Four Noble Truths is wisdom. Not knowing the Four Noble Truths is ignorance or avijjā. Very clear definition. Question? Any question? So now we want to finish the factor, avijjā. Okay.
Bhante, I will go back a little bit. Today's lesson, just now you mentioned that ignorance is not the first cause.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Can you explain what this means? Because under the Noble Eightfold Path, right view or wisdom is the first cause. So
the first
contradiction.
Sorry?
Everything starts from right view according to the Noble Eightfold Path.
Yes.
And according to everything that we have learned so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you just said that ignorance is not the first cause.
Yeah.
It could be taints, or it could be the five hindrances, etc.
Five hindrances.
Yeah. Could you explain? Because specifically in the Noble Eightfold Path, it does say that everything starts with right view.
Yeah. Actually, the opposite of right view is a wrong view, right? The wrong view spring from ignorance. So yeah, the reason why the ignorance is not the first cause, the reason is, so I have quoted one sutta from Anamataka Samyutta. So the life cannot be, how to say, we cannot find the beginning of our life, beginningless. For that reason, so as we cannot find even the beginning of the beings, how can we find the beginning of, how can we understand, how can we say that the ignorance is the first cause? So actually, even we cannot know the beginning of our life, beginning of beings. So actually, we are going around Saṅkhāra because of ignorance, not knowing Four Noble Truth. For that reason, ignorance is not the first cause, and this one also, ignorance also have many causes, maybe taints or five hindrances. Actually, in some sutta, more than that, there are many. The Buddha mentioned many places. So actually, what the Buddha want to say is, we cannot find the beginning. We cannot trace back the beginning of our life. For that reason, we are going around Saṅkhāra because of ignorance and craving. As we cannot find our beginning, we cannot find the beginning of ignorance also. Yeah. 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 So this is a called Saṅkhāra, beginningless Saṅkhāra, bhavacakka, circular life. Question? Okay, no question. Then let's go. Let's continue. And second factor is volitional formation, Saṅkhāra. Saṅkhāra is very tricky word. So and then based on the sutta we were trying to understand. Depending on ignorance, avijjā, the volitional formation arise. Depending on ignorance, because of ignorance, volitional formations arise. So here, and then if we look at this context, so that means the cause of volitional formation is only one cause, ignorance. You might understand in such way. It's not so. There are many causes, but the Buddha just point out important one. And then when we learn later, I think you will understand. So it's not a one cause. There are many causes. So actually I will quote one sutta. So then later. So the cause of volitional formation is not just craving. Sorry, not just ignorance, craving as well. So not just ignorance and craving, there are many causes as well. So this the Buddha just talk about main cause. Depending on ignorance, the volitional formation arise. But here, what is volitional formation? Volitional formations are bodily, verbal, and mental activities. So these are not normal activities. It's done with the volition motivated by ignorance and craving. That's according with the sutta. So, but here, volitional formation means we do our bodily activities and verbal activities and mental activities motivated by volition. So that volition is supported by craving and ignorance. So based on craving and ignorance, the volition or chetana trying to do with the body, speech and mind. So that is called volitional formations. So I think later I will clarify this one. So this is a summary of the word Saṅkhāra. The word Saṅkhāra. Sometimes we will use volitional activities. Sometimes we use karma formation. And then later you will clarify, you will clear this one. So I think when we talk about Saṅkhāra, the most important part here is volition. The volition is the most important, the key. So in Abhidhamma, volition is given, how to say, is explained as a, how to say, with a simile, a lot of simile. He's a, how to say, commander-in-chief in the battlefield. Actually, he will not kill himself. He told the soldier to kill the enemies. So actually, how to say, commander-in-chief trying to motivate and try to tell the people, soldier, to kill the enemies. So that means that driving force or motivator one is a commander-in-chief. So in this case, so we are doing a lot of activities with our body, we're talking, by our speech, by our actions, and our mind thinking, motivated by volition or chetana. The chetana is a driving force. He is, how to say, forcing associated mental factor, other mental factor to function, just like anger. Anger is driven by volition, trying to be angry at that person. And compassion, trying to practice compassion, driven by volition. So volition is very important for our activities. So if our activity is motivated by ignorance and craving, that is called Saṅkhāra. So that means here, the opposite of ignorance is mindfulness and sampajana, knowing thoroughly, or wisdom. If your mind, in your mind, mindfulness and wisdom present, there is no place for ignorance. If you do something motivated by mindfulness and wisdom, we cannot call it Saṅkhāra. Later I will explain this one. The most important thing is our bodily, verbal and mental actions motivated by volition. So that volition is supported by ignorance and craving. That's called Saṅkhāra. So we will use one sutta to talk about this one, Nibbedika Sutta. So the Buddha said that it is volition, it is chetana, bhikkhus, that are called karma. Actually, chetana is nothing but karma. For having will or motivated, one acts by body, speech and mind. So actually, motivated by chetana, volition, we are acting by body, speech and mind. That's called karma. Sometimes we do wholesome karma, motivated by volition. So that volition is supported by ignorance, behind ignorance and craving. Sometimes we do wholesome deed, motivated by chetana. Chetana bhikkhve kamma vada means very famous word, very famous lines. I think it is volition. When we talk about in Buddhism, not every activity is not called karma. Not every activity is called karma. So when you kill some person accidentally, right, without any intention, that's not karma. That's not karma. So volition or intention is karma. Sometimes you may kill a sentient beings without knowing. Does not come. You don't have any intention or motivation to gain. For that reason, I think we must understand volitional activities. Volitional means together with the volition, motivated by volition. Formation, formation. Formation here means bodily formation. You do with the body, you do with the mind and speech. So here, Saṅkhāra means making together. Making together. Motivated by ignorance, avijjā, and craving, tanha. Two things, ignorance and craving. Saṅkhāra actively involve making reaction to the object that you see, that you hear, that you experience, etc. Sometimes you see a person, you feel angry. Behind the anger, there is a volition. Behind the volition, motivated by ignorance and craving. There is, a lot of causes. Anger arises, depend on a lot of causes. We can remove that anger by removing ignorance and craving. If you practice mindfulness and sampajana, knowing thoroughly, no place for anger. Even though you see unpleasant things, even though you hear unpleasant sounds, if you are mindful enough, no anger. That is the way to remove. So that is one of the best things to remove anger, our anger. Not only anger, we have a lot of negative thinking. A lot of negative thinking. So we can remove those negative thinking by developing mindfulness, sampajana. Actually, I do not know actual translation of sampajana. Sampajana means knowing thoroughly. You know it because of mindfulness and concentrations. You know what is happening in your mind, in your body, the environment. So if you develop these two qualities, no place for ignorance, no place for craving, then no place for, if there's no craving, no ignorance, no volitional formations. If there's no volitional formations, no anger, right? So here, volitional formation means volition or motivation. So motivation, trying to order other mental factor, just like anger, hatred, jealousy, like this. So because of this, so everything based on ignorance and craving. So based on ignorance and craving, Saṅkhāra or volition actively involve making reaction to the object. Object can be something you see, something you hear, etc. So actively involved. So in this way, volitional formation arises. Sometimes you do with your body, sometimes you speak with your mouth, sometimes you think with your mind. These are called volitional activities or volitional formations. Cetana motivates the associated mental factor to take action on the object. Sometimes good action, sometimes bad action. That's called Saṅkhāra. So I think if we learn three types of Saṅkhāra, you will understand better. According to Vibhanga Sutta, second Sutta that I already sent out, Saṅkhāra is of three types. Number one, the bodily volitional formation. If you do something with your body, so that activities or that action is motivated by volition. If that volition is motivated by ignorance and craving, then there will be bodily volitional formation will arise. Bodily volitional activities motivated by ignorance and craving. But here, ignorance by craving. Not every activity is called volitional formation. Not every activity. Only it is supported by, motivated by ignorance and craving. Sometimes you do with mindfulness and sampajana. Then even though you have activities, bodily activities, and mental and verbal activities, those are not called Saṅkhāra. Because there's no ignorance and craving in your mind. Only just sati and panya. And second one is the verbal volitional formation. Sometimes you speak, right? Motivated by volition. So that volition is supported by ignorance and craving. That's called volitional formation. Number 3, the mental volitional formation with your mind. So these are mentioned in Vibhanga Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya, chapter 12, Sutta number 2. Very simple, very simple. So that means your bodily activities, verbal and mental activities, if those activities, those actions are done with the motivation of volition, so that volition is motivated by ignorance and craving. So that is called Saṅkhāra in this context. In this context. Not every activity is called Saṅkhāra. If you are doing something full of mindfulness, full of wisdom, full of compassion, full of loving kindness, cannot be called Saṅkhāra. Question? Okay.
Hello. Hello. Bhante, just now earlier you mentioned that volition formation is due to the past cause. Let's say, when I'm born, I have certain habitual, maybe thinking, body action or verbal, maybe the anger, temperament, this could be our past life. Would this be how we translate it? Because, like each of us come to this assistant with certain, past volition formation. Is that how we interpret? Like habitual, I call it habitual, unwholesome, I don't know.
Sometimes we have a gene in our mind.
Yes. Not necessarily linked to our parent, but it could be our individual past karma that cross over. So that is what we meant by volition formation. So it's always depending on the past cause. Can we actually dilute this past cause?
Why not?
First of all, through mindfulness and meditation.
Yeah, why not?
That is stopping the formation, but it's not easy.
Yeah, not easy, but
because the habitual thing,
in a deep inside our mind, we have a habitual, a good habit. Some people have a good habit. Some people have a bad habit.
Yeah,
but
because
of course, according to Buddhism,
when we're sitting down and meditating, I do realize sometimes I got repeated problem that keep coming up.
Yeah, you're right.
So is that what you meant by volition formation? Sometimes it just appear.
Yeah.
You're aware that it appear, but it's difficult to suppress, Sometimes.
But here, volition means, according to this model, we shouldn't fix volition is past cause. But it can be the cause in this life as well.
Current life. But
so I think after when we conclude the threefold formula, later we learn karma existence. So karma existence and volitional formation are the same.
They are the
Only
same.
the name different. So according to traditional model, traditional explanation. So karma existence. Karma existence is the volitional activities in this life.
But there is a future context.
Yeah, of course, yes. Yeah.
But this is a past tense, I would say.
One
is a past and one is a future forward.
So sometimes if we just stick to 3 periods for time,
3 time period.
We cannot stick to one model.
Yes.
Sometimes we are talking about in this life. Suppose I'm not talking. That is called verbal volitional activities. So if I'm talking based on ignorance and craving, that is called verbal volitional formations. So that will be the cause for the not next life, even in this life. Suppose I'm cursing somebody, criticizing somebody. So that means I do it with a lot of anger. So that anger is driven by volition. So that volition is supported by ignorance and craving. Then I do it based on ignorance and craving. That I'm angry and criticize that person. Then that is called a verbal. If I criticize with my body, that will be bodily volitional formation. If I'm using my speech, a verbal volitional formations. So in this model, so that is very clear that it's not talk about volitional formations, not past life, in this life. But of course, according to traditional model, that is not called volitional formations. It is called karma existence. And then in next level, we will learn that one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. But of course, I think in your question, you mentioned that can we dilute those habitual bad habits? Of course. So sorry if I use the my teacher told me not to use the word of course. It's a little bit rude. So sorry, I don't have any maybe because of ignorance. So what I want to say is we can dilute our old habit by practicing mindfulness and sampajana. So the Buddha said that in Mahasatiparana Sutta, there's only way to overcome our mental sufferings, to attain the bliss of Nibbana. There's only way, that is mindfulness. So we are practicing meditation because we develop mindfulness. So if we develop mindfulness, our mind will be concentrated. We have a lot of concentrations. If we have a lot of concentrations, then we will not criticize other people with anger. Most of the time, mindfulness plus sampajana. Then all the time mindful, all the time full of wisdom. No place for ignorance and craving. So if so, there will be no accumulation of volitional formation. Okay, I think, okay.
When you say mindfulness, right, you're actually referring to keep on reflecting on what is wrong and what is right?
Reflecting is another quality. Mindfulness here means when you are talking, you are very mindful what you are doing. When you are eating, you are mindful what you are eating. When you are listening the Dhamma talk, you are mindful. And when you are meditating on breathing, you just be mindful on the breathing.
Okay.
So that is mindfulness.
Okay. Then the next thing, earlier on you mentioned the verbal volitional formation. When you have a verbal, you actually have mental and verbal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, based on the mind.
Then
speech.
all these start.
Yeah. Okay, I think let's study with another 3 types of Saṅkhāra using the Samyutta Nikaya, Sutta number 51. So this is a very beautiful way of explanation what is Saṅkhāra. Vimāsaka Sutta mention, actually the Sutta I sent out this morning, Sutta number 3, chapter 3, Sutta number 51. Mention 3 types of Saṅkhāra with the different names, So earlier we studied Saṅkhāra with the Kaya Saṅkhāra, bodily volitional formation, Vajji Saṅkhāra, Vabe, and Mano Saṅkhāra, maintain. But here, with the different names, for those who want to know details, you can read these references. Bhikkhu Bodhi note, note number 7, in Samyutta Nikaya, English translation, page number 727. Note number 138, in Samyutta Nikaya, English translation, page number 765. Note number 11, 112, page number 757. And Comprehensive Manual of Abhidhamma, chapter 1, and section 1 and 7, and 30. And Visuddhimagga. Visuddhimagga is the best. Chapter 70, right? Chapter 70, paragraph number 60 and 64. So I think for the time being, let's study 3 types of Saṅkhāra according to Vimāsaka Sutta. Number 1, meritorious volitional formations. Meritorious volitional formations. The Buddha said that bhikkhus, if a person immersed in ignorance generates a meritorious volitional formations, consciousness fares on to the meritorious. Understand? Actually, this is a very, very important point to understand. Meritorious volitional formations. So actually, we have 2 types of volitional formation, good and bad. But this one is good, meritorious, or wholesome volitional formations. Sometimes we do good things based on ignorance, and based on craving. Sometimes you take care of a person because of craving, because of ignorance. Sometimes you suppose you observe 5 precepts, hoping that and you will get something. Because of craving, you do it. Expectation something. Actually, as a good Buddhist, keeping precept doesn't mean you don't need to expect, because you want to take care of the living beings. For that reason, you refrain from killing. Because you refrain from stealing, because you want to protect the property of other people. No other expectations behind, like this. Sometimes we do good deed, expecting something. Suppose I'm teaching the Dhamma, expecting something. That is a good deed, but motivated by ignorance and craving. That's not good. If I do not get something that I want, feel very happy, very unhappy, like this. So sometimes you you're doing dana, suppose you're doing dana, expecting something, lobha with the lobha. So that means if you do not get what you want, anger will arise. So you are dana, your goodie is not pure. So that means this is meritorious deed, meritorious volitional formations, but not pure, motivated by ignorance and craving. But if you do not want, if you do not get what you want, the anger or depression will arise, like this. So this is a meritorious volitional formations, but if you have craving and ignorance in your mind, then that is called Saṅkhāra. But of course, if I teach the Dhamma without any expectation, motivated by wisdom and mindfulness, even though I do not get anything, nothing. So that means that's not called Saṅkhāra. Later, I think today may not have time, so tomorrow I will explain. Next week I will explain such state of mind. A very, I think, a unique and noble state of mind. So I think when we do something, I think we should do like that one. So I think so here, if you do good things, suppose if you are taking care of your children, expecting that they will take care of you when you grow old, with the expectation, craving, ignorance. But when they neglect, so when they forget about your life, they're enjoying their life, they do not pay visit to you, you feel hurt. That's because of ignorance and craving. A very subtle one, no? Very subtle. For that reason, the Buddha said that it's something, if our action is not motivated by ignorance and craving, there will be no suffering in our mind. If we do something full of mindfulness, full of wisdom, full of compassion, real compassion, and real loving kindness, no hurting, even though you will not get anything in return, no suffering at all. That is, I think, very beautiful part of Buddhist teachings. Sometimes we do good things, expecting something. That is very okay.
I speak louder lah. Don't need mic here. I speak very loud.
I think better because for recording.
You mentioned earlier, right? If the children, let's say, ignore the parents when they grow up, right? Assuming the parents just accept that, okay, children grow up, they don't feel any hurting. Is that considered ignorance still?
You mean earlier you expect something?
Yeah, let's say.
But later you accept it?
Yeah, we accept it.
But by that time, wisdom arises.
It's just an acceptance, or you
wisdom,
understand.
Okay,
it's called wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom. If there's wisdom, no place for ignorance, no place for craving.
But you don't accept, because this is reality, that your children, will grow up, they have their own lives, and then you have to accept that. Otherwise, you just...
Because you have mindfulness and wisdom, but many people may not have it. So that is actually, we have a different, mentality. Some people always angry to many people, no? They do not have mindfulness and wisdom. And then, for that reason, and then practicing the Noble Eightfold Path, very, very important. Noble Eightfold Path. Starting from right view. You have a right view. Because of that, you have a good intention. For that reason, your speech, your action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, concentrations, everything go right. So I think for that reason, Professor the chairman of the Palita Society, he said that the most beautiful teachings the Noble Eightfold Path. In terms of beauty, in terms of comprehensiveness. So here, you imagine, we can learn that starting point of the original suffering is the ignorance. We do not know, we cannot accept it. Because you know the reality, then that you accept it, that is you don't have the ignorance. You know it, that is the nature, right? I think that is very important. But here, sometimes we do good things. Even though you're doing good things, expect something. Then, if you do not get things that you want, suffering arises. Suffering arises. Suppose you write an article, hoping that people will like it, people will appreciate it, but everybody ignore it. Then if you have ignorance and craving for popularity or congratulations or acceptance, then suffering will arise. So, especially in nowadays, people use social medias. So they want a lot of like and a lot of shares. If you have a lot of craving for that, suffering will arise. So if you do, just because you want to do, just because you should do, then you do it. So whether you have a lot of a good response or a good reply, it doesn't matter. It will not harm your feeling. Wisdom, right? Wisdom. Okay, so even though we are doing something, many people have a lot of craving and ignorance. Normally, when they do not get what they want, then suffering. Ignorance, based on ignorance and volitional formation, based on volitional formation, suffering like this, right? That is a depend on originations. If you know that process, depend on conditions, our problem arises. That is insight or enlightenment. Insight or enlightenment. So that is a meritorious volitional formations. That is according to the suttas, right? According to the suttas. Even though the suttas say immersed in ignorance, we have to understand together with the craving. Then according to Abhidhamma said that meritorious volitional formations, that is the volitions in the 8 great wholesome chatas. And for those who didn't learn Abhidhamma, don't worry, it doesn't matter if you do not understand. But for those who learn Abhidhamma, very lucky, you can appreciate teachings of the Buddha from 2 dimensions. Dimension from Sutta Pitaka, dimension from Abhidhamma Pitaka. Clearer. So when you do good things, normally you will do one of the 8 great chatas, wholesome chatas. Then another one is the 5 wholesome, 5 material jhana chatas. 5 wholesome, 5 material jhana chatas. Some people meditate, they achieve a very deeper level of concentrations. Then when they neglect their practice, they lost their concentrations. But they want to attain that state of concentration again. They try, couldn't get it. Feel, irritated or depressed. Because motivated by ignorance and craving. For that reason, many meditation masters said that don't expect anything, just focus on your meditation object. Whether the result is good or bad, it doesn't matter, don't care. Just do it, just concentrate it. Actually, in the deeper level of concentrations, deeper level of meditation, we have a Saṅkhārupakkhā jnana. So trying to neutral toward your state of meditation, whether it is good or bad. You don't have any inclination or thinking, just focus on your meditation. That's very higher level. So here also, even you attain jhana, sometimes you may have ignorance and craving toward that jhana. Then you practice. If you couldn't attain the jhana that you want to attain, then irritation or the depression will come into your mind. Even the higher level of jhana, that is called meritorious volitional formations. If you do it, motivated by ignorance and craving, not good. Not good from top-down view, right? Top-down view. Of course, attaining jhana is very good, but if you are doing to achieve jhana, motivated by ignorance and craving, that's also volitional formation, Saṅkhāra. So that Saṅkhāra will lead to suffering. This is dependent originations. Next one is a demeritorious volitional formations, unwholesome actions. But of course, it's very clear. If he generates a demeritorious volitional formation, consciousness. But here, consciousness. So next factor that we are going to learn, consciousness, fails on to the demeritorious realms. So if you do unwholesome actions, you will go to your consciousness will descend to the demeritorious realms. So actually, that is called volitional formations. If you do something with an unwholesome state of mind, so that is called demeritorious volitional formations. It will have a result in rebirth in the unwholesome destination. So here, consciousness, hear me, a rebirth consciousness. So actually, we have to understand a different context, depending on different context. So in that Chachaka Soda, it's not a rebirth consciousness. In the second soda of Nidana Sanyota, Vibhanga Soda, it can be either rebirth consciousness or it can be normal consciousness. So we have to understand according to context. But according to here, consciousness here means rebirth consciousness. So here, demeritorious means 12 unwholesome chetas in Abhidhamma. So if you do 12 unwholesome chetas, that is called demeritorious volitional formations. So it will result in rebirth in unhappy destinations. I think 950, right? 950. Question? If you have one question, if you no question. Okay, so let's close our lesson. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakyamuni bhagavakata kecho paragato bala viriya samangi Tan sukatan saranatamu pemi Raga viraga ninjama sokan Dhamma masangata patikulan Marurami mambagunan suvipatam Dhamma mimam saranathamupemi Yatha chate nama apalamahu Chatusu sisu purisayugesu Attacha bogala Dhammadasate Saṅkhāmi saranathamupemi Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everyone.